I'm answering questions that have been made up by the free Nat5 maths guys, their website. And I'm going to be answering the questions on algebra just now. And this should be good revision for your possible assessment that might be coming up in the January-February timeframe. And perhaps if you've got nothing to do over Christmas time, then this is something that you could do in small bite-sized chunks. So in the algebra section, I'm just going to look at the multiplying out brackets, and I'm going to look at factorising, and then I'll do the algebraic fractions just after that. Right, so let's go ahead and multiply out some of these brackets. What I'd like you to do is freeze the video, answer the questions, go ahead and do them, and you can check the answers for mine and see how you get on. Right, let's go for it. So I've got a bracket term here that's squared plus 4ab. So what I'm going to do is, first with this one here, I'm going to write it out as two brackets because I've got that there, that bracketed term times itself, okay? So I'm going to write it out like as if it was FOIL, and I'm going to do that one. So I've got two brackets and I'm going to multiply out. So 2a times 2a gives me 4a squared. I've got 2a times minus b, which will be minus 2ab. I've got minus b times 2a, which will give me minus another 2ba or ab. I'm going to put them as AB as the way the letters go in the alphabet. And then I've got negative b times negative b, which will be a positive b squared. And at the end here, I've got something I'm going to be gathering up, which is plus a 4ab. So what I can see here is that from gathering these guys up here, okay, which is as usual when you multiply out by FOIL, so that's going to give me a negative 4ab there. I've got plus b squared and I've got plus 4ab. I can see that these guys here are going to cancel out because they're going to make 0. So I've got 4a squared plus b squared done. Okay, so that's that one multiplied out. Okay, the next one. So a more tricky one, maybe more on the top end when I've got a two-part bracket and a three-part bracket after it. So let's go ahead and do that one there, okay? So what we'll go for is we'll multiply this out. So I'm going to multiply the three terms here by the 3x. So that's going to give me, the first part is going to be 3x squared. I'm going to get plus 6x, okay, squared. Whoops, that's a cube there, so that one there. So hopefully you were shouting at the video. So 3x times the x squared gives me 3x cubed. I've got 3x times the 2x gives me 6x squared. And then I've got subtract 3x from there. So that's the first part multiplied out. Then I'm going to multiply the rest by negative 6, okay? Be careful of your negative signs. So that's going to be negative 6x squared. That's going to be negative 12x, and then negative 6 times negative 1 will give me a plus 6 that's there. What I'll do is I'll gather the things up that I can. Usually in this type of question, there's going to be gathering up of the squared term and the power of 1, just the x terms. So 3x cubed. These guys here are going to cancel out because they're going to make 0, and then I'm going to just be careful when you're doing your negatives here. So negative 3x, subtract another 12 of them, so that's going to take me down to negative 15x, okay? Just be careful with that one, and that's going to be plus 6 that's there. That's as far as I can go with that. I'm going to leave it as that, and that's the way we go. Right, so the next one, next question. I've got two separate brackets. I'm going to look at that sign there. That's going to maybe cause me a problem, but I'm going to try and think about it and make sure I don't make a mistake with that one there. Right, so 3 times 2x is going to give me 6x, and that's going to be minus 3y. I've got negative 4x, and it's this bit I'm concerned about. So negative 4 times a negative y will be a plus 4y that's going to come in there. Okay, so the negative 4 times a negative y will give me a positive. I'm going to gather up what I can. So I can gather up the x terms, so that will give me 2x, and I'll gather up the y term. So I've got negative 3y plus 4y, and that's going to give me plus 1y, or just plus y, and that's my answer to that part there. Okay, the last part. So there is a quicker way to multiply out rather than doing FOIL. But I'm just going to do FOIL just so you can see what we do there, okay? So I've got two brackets, 3a minus 5b, and I'm going to multiply that by the same again because I'm squaring it, okay? What we'll get is we'll get 9a squared, and I'll get minus 15ab coming out there. And then I've got another minus 15ab, or BA, but remember just to keep the letters in order. And the negative 5b times a negative 5b is going to be a positive 25b squared. Okay, I'll gather up whatever I can. So, and usually with this, as I say, it's always the middle terms that we gather up. And again, be really careful with the negatives that are here. So negative 15ab, take away another 15, gives me negative 30ab plus 25b squared. And that'll be my answer for that one. Okay. And finally, I think these ones are really kind of quite tricky. The reason why they're tricky is that negative sign that's just sitting in front there. That's going to change the signs of everything that I multiply out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a wee special bracket in there just to kind of make sure that I don't make a mistake with that one. So there's a special kind of bracket. I'm just putting around that just to protect it. Okay. So the first thing I've got is I've got 6x squared that I'm not going to use yet. I've got a negative sign, and then I'm just going to start off with that big bracket. I'm going to multiply this out by FOIL again, so that's going to be 6x squared. I've got negative 4x. I've then got negative 3x, and I've got plus 2. Okay, I'll just close that bracket off again. Right, so what I can do is I can gather up the terms first, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll multiply out by that negative sign that's there. So I've got 6x squared that's sitting there. I've got negative 7x when I gather these ones up, and a plus 2. Now what I'll do is I'll try and get rid of that bracket. So I've got 6x squared, so I'm multiplying everything by a negative, so all the signs are going to change. So that's going to be negative 6x squared, that's going to be negative 1, because remember that's like a negative 1 that's there. Negative 1 times negative 7 is going to be plus 7x, and negative 1 times a plus 2 is going to be a negative 2. I can see that these are going to cancel out, these ones, because they're going to go to 0, so that's going to leave me with 7x, take away 2. And that's the multiplying brackets part completed. Okay, so let's go on to the next part of it. And what we've got is we're going to be looking at some factorising here. Okay, and I think what I'll do is I'll just stop the video there, and that's us done some multiplying out the brackets. We'll do the factorising next in a separate video.